Okay, good. So we're going to start feet together, turning toes out, followed by heels. Just looking down at your feet, make sure they're tracking straight and parallel to each other. Soft through the knees, hips facing forward, shoulder round and down and ears over the shoulders. Placing the hands on the hips, we're just going to rock that pelvis forward and back. So upper body is not moving, it's just that pelvis. Feeling the stretch as you arch through the back and then flatten through the back. Good. So finding the halfway point between the two, nice neutral spine position. Placing the hands over the rib cage, drawing the shoulders down the back. Deep breath in through the nose, feel the rib cage expanding, and out through the mouth. Good. One more time. Deep breath in, shoulders down the back, and out through the mouth. So while we continue with the deep lateral breathing, I want you to imagine that belt around your waist, drawing the sides towards each other, belly button back towards the spine, and feel those pelvic floor muscles like a lift coming up. 1, 2, 3. So tie this through the whole abdominal core region, but you can keep with that deep lateral breathing. Relaxing the arms down by your side, and we're starting with the forward shoulder rolls. Nice big rolls. Take your time, just slowly releasing any tightness in there. One more time forward, and then we're going to reverse up to the ears, over the mountain, and down the other side. Good. Working with your breath. Squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. One more time, and then we're relaxing the shoulders down the back, arms hanging down by your side. On the in-breath, we're floating the arms out to the side. As they come up above the shoulders, lock those shoulders down your back. Try not to let them creep up to your ears. On the out-breath, push the air away as we bring the arms back down. Good. In breath, locking those shoulders down the back as we float the arms up towards the ceiling. Out breath, push the air away as we bring the arms back down. Good. So locking those elbows into your side, take the forearms out in front of you, palms to the ceiling. Squeezing the elbows into your side, we're opening the hands out and then squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. Good. In breath to bring them back together again. So on the out breath, squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back, and in breath to center. Good. Last time. On the out breath, squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back, and center back up again. Good. So relaxing the arms down by your side, palms facing away from you, and floating the hands up to just above head height. Soft elbows and floating back down again. Good. So on the in-breath, floating the arms up. We're going to hold it there. Take the hands and interlock them behind the head. Shrug those shoulders up to your ears, and then draw those shoulders down your back. Good. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. So take the elbows behind you. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, release the hands, and we're floating the arms back down again. Good. On the in-breath, floating the arms up, soft elbows, take the hands behind the head, interlock the fingers, shrug those shoulders up to your ears, draw the shoulder blades down the back, take the elbows back and squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then we're floating the arms out to the side and dropping them down. Good. So interlocking the hands behind you, turn the fingers inside out, and then we're going to lift them up away from the glutes. We're opening up through our pecs, so squeeze those shoulder blades together. Try not to let the rib cage pop out, keep it centered. And we're just breathing through that stretch. Then relax the hands down, but keep them interlocked. We're going to turn and look over the left shoulder, not forcing anything, just gently turning the head back to the center and looking over the right shoulder, back to the center again. We're looking over the left shoulder. And then we're dropping the chin down towards the shoulder. So just straight, we're not tilting the head, just drop the chin down, feeling the muscles just to the side of the neck. Center back up, looking over the right shoulder, drop the chin to the shoulder.
Wait a minute.
Good, center back up again, and then keeping those shoulder blades squeezed together at the back, we're going to drop the chin to the chest. So try not to tip forward with the upper body, feeling a stretch down the back of the neck. Good, and centering back up, and then we're going to just drop left ear over left shoulder, keeping the right shoulder down the back. Center back up and dropping the right ear to right shoulder, left shoulder down the back. Breathing through that and center back up again. Good. So working with our hips, pelvic stability, so keeping our hips level, we're going to come up onto the right toe, so lifting the right heel up. Try and keep that pelvis level, don't let it hitch. And then we're just going to slide that right foot forward. Feel the left foot wide and implanting into the floor and slide that right toe back again. Good. So sliding the right toe forward, wobbling. Turn the right toe out. Feel the opening of that right hip. Center and slide back up again. Good. One more time, sliding that right foot out, turn the toe out, feel the opening of that hip, center, and slide back in again. Then we're going to take that right leg up to knee height, and then lengthen the right leg away from you. Try not to hitch that hip up, turn the hip out, center, and sliding back in. Good. One more time on the out breath. Take that leg out, turn the toe out, center, and slide it back in. Brilliant. Lowering that right leg back to the floor. And can you hear us all right now? Good. Okay. So lifting up that left heel, keep that left hip down, sliding that left foot forward along the floor and sliding back in again. Good. Slide that left foot forward, turn the toe out, opening out that left hip, center, and slide back in again. Good. One more time. Slide that left foot forward, opening out the toe, opening the hip, center, and slide back in. Then we're taking that hip, let the knee up to hip height. Try not to let that hip hitch. And we're sliding the leg forward, turn the toe out, center, and slide back in. Good. One more time. Take that leg out, turn the toe out, center, and sliding that knee back in. Brilliant. And take the foot to the floor. And then we're just circling those hips off. Good. Just loosening that back up. Brilliant. So coming back to the center. So just to say again, that's all about glute work. So worth doing at home, brushing your teeth, hair, whatever you're doing, just work on that standing on the one leg. Really helps to get these glutes fired up and supporting us. We're going into the side bend, so left hand down, right arm up, shoulders down the back, lengthening through the waist over into the left side bend. Try not to let that right hip slide up, keep it centered. In breath to center, changing arms, lengthening through the waist and over into that right side bend. Good. Reaching that left arm over the top and in breath to center back up again. So right hand to left hip. Take the other hand behind you. Pushing the right hip forward. We're going to turn to face the back. Use your left hand to help to increase that stretch. Feel that rotation in the back. In breath to center, and then we're changing arms, left hand to right hip, take the hand behind you, push the right hip forward and turn to the right. And again, using that right hand to increase that stretch. And center back up again, rolling those shoulders, and again, just loosening the hips. So standing at the end of the mat, mat's rolling away in front of you, soft through the knees, relax through the neck and shoulders. On the in-breath, draw the belly button to spine. On the out-breath, we're dropping chin to chest, and we're peeling the vertebra off the wall behind you, one vertebra at a time. Arms hanging, head hanging, feeling the articulation through each vertebra joint as you come down to the toes. Let the head hang, shoulders down the back. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're scooping belly button to spine. We're rounding back up, stacking that spine, coming up to standing, and rolling those shoulders back. Good. One more time, deep breath in. As we breathe out, draw the belly button to spine, chin to chest, head hanging, arms hanging, articulating through that vertebra joint as you come all the way down to the toes. We're either going to hook the fingers underneath the toes or place them flat onto the floor. And we're going to straighten through the right knee, holding for 4, 3, 2, 1, and soften. Straighten through the left knee for 4, 3, 2, 1, and soften. Straightening through both knees, head hanging, shoulders down the back, breathing through that stretch. And then we're going to soften through the knees, walk the hands forward, and we're coming down onto all fours. Good. So drawing that belly button to spine, so you've got your nice neutral spine. Try not to let that lumbar spine arch. Lifting up through the core. So we're working on the shoulder dips here. So again, but it's only working between the shoulder blades, nothing to do with the lower back. That stays in neutral spine. So on the in-breath, we're dipping between the shoulder blades and you're squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. On the out-breath, you're lifting up out of the shoulders and broadening, so trying to spread those shoulder blades across your back. In-breath, dipping down, squeezing those shoulder blades together. On the out-breath, lifting and spreading those shoulder blades. Good, one more time. In-breath, dipping between those shoulder blades, squeezing them together. On the out-breath, lifting up out of the shoulders and broadening between those shoulder blades. So into the cat stretch now. Now we're going to round that whole back up towards the ceiling. Drop the head down between the arms. On the out-breath, lengthen tail and crown. Draw the belly button to spine and into that back extension. So in breath, rounding thoracic back up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulders away from the spine. On the out breath, lengthen tail and crown and feel that nice stretch in that back extension. Good. One more time. In breath, rounding thoracic back up towards the ceiling. On the out breath, lengthen tail and crown. Feeding on into that back extension, and we're just going to flex that back off one more time, just rounding it up to the ceiling and coming back to your neutral spine position. Good. So into the hip drops now. So we're going to drop the hips to the right, turn and look at your feet over your left shoulder. In breath to center, and then out breath, we're going to take the hips to the left, looking over the right shoulder at your feet. Good. In breath to center. So we're going to just keep dropping those hips. Don't force it. You should be feeling a nice stretch and opening through the pelvis here. You might feel it through the outside of the leg or through those glutes. Good. And we're going to do one more to each side. Good, dropping those hips down. And to the other side. Brilliant. Center back up. We're going to sit back on your heels, head down into the mat. Reach those fingers away from you. If you can, weight yourself on your heels. If that's not comfortable, just stay lifted and walk the hands forward. Good. So imagine that ball inflating underneath your belly button. You're rounding back up, stacking that spine, come to sitting on your heels, and then we're sliding back onto all fours again. Take that left leg behind you, drop that left hip down, tuck the toe underneath you, and we're pushing back through the hands. Take the heel to the floor, and we're holding for 10, 9, 8. To increase the stretch, if you're not feeling much of a stretch, take that leg back a little bit more. Good, and heel to the floor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sliding that left knee in. Good. Slide the right leg back, tuck that right toe underneath you, push back through the hands. Try not to hitch that hip for 10, 9, 8. Keep increasing that stretch. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sliding that right knee in. Brilliant. So into the leg and arm raise. So we're going to take right hand forward, left leg back, drop the hip down, and then we're reaching. So try not to hitch through the shoulder and hip, reaching forward and back. Lower back down and sliding back in. Try not to shift the weight from one side to the other. Good. Left hand forward, right leg back. So strong through the core. Keep that neutral spine. Don't let your back start to dip. Good. Lower back down, slide it in, and again, try not to shift the weight. So, right arm forward, left leg back, reaching forward and back. And if you want to progress it now, we're going to take the leg and arm out to the side. Try not to let your body move. Keep the body centered, and we're just moving those limbs back to the center, lower back down, and sliding back in. Good. On the out breath, left hand forward, right leg back, reaching forward and back, and then progression, take it out to the side, keep the core centered or the body centered, back to the center, lower back down, and sliding back in. Brilliant. So right arm forward, left leg back, reaching forward and back. This time, if you want to progress it, we're going to slide the left knee forward, drop the head to the left knee, and then lengthen it back out again. We're going to do that 2 times to each side. Draw the left knee forward, drop the head to the knee, and lengthen back out again. Excellent. Lower back down and slide the knee and hand back in. Brilliant. On the out breath, right leg back, left arm forward, reaching forward and back. Progression, slide the knee forward, drop the head down, and lengthen away. Nice, slow and controlled movements. Good. One more time. Drop the head down to the knee, lengthen away. Lower back down and slide back in. So we're going to sit back on the heels. And Jane Thomas, if you want to come to sitting on the V, we're going to open the knees out. Good. So walking the hands forward. Take the head down to the floor. Feel that stretch, opening, stretching also through the inner thigh. Then we're going to walk the hands round to the left. Reach that right arm away from you. Feeling that lovely opening all up through that right side. Good. center, back up again. And then we're turning to the right. Reaching that left arm away from you. Feel that lovely opening. Good. Center, back up again. And then we're walking the hands back up, rounding up through that back, stacking the spine. We're going to come to sitting now. Coming to the front of the mat. So just make sure you've got your bands handy. We don't need them for a little bit, but just so that we're not having to change positions to get it. Just have the band nice and handy. Stacking that spine. Arms straight out in front of you, shoulders down the back. Good. So deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're drawing the belly button to spine. We're C-curving that spine and we're coming down. Lumbar spine, thoracic. Take the head down. Reach the arms up above your head. Lengthen those legs away from you. And we're just breathing into that, sort of stretch, but we're trying to relax that lumbar spine down into the mat. Good, shoulders down your back. And then we're going to reach, so we're working on the right side here, keeping all four limbs on the floor. You're going to reach back, try and touch the wall behind you with the right hand. And you're going to push that right heel away from you. So flexion through the foot. Feel the lengthening through that whole right side. In breath to center and relax. And then we're doing left arm, reaching to touch the wall behind you. Push that left heel away from you. Good, and in breath to center. Now we're going to do diagonal, so right arm reaching to touch the wall behind you, push that left heel away from you. And relax, and now right heel pushing away from you, reach that left arm to touch the wall behind you. And relaxing back up and see if that lumbar spine relaxes any more into the mat there. So we're going to bend those knees, relaxing the arms down by your side, heel a hand and a half length away from your glutes. We're finding our neutral spine position, but we're going to involve our heads here. So on the in-breath, we're going to roll that pelvis forward. We're arching through the lumbar spine. As we do that, we're going to slide that chin up towards the ceiling. On the out-breath, we're going to flatten through the lumbar spine. And as we flatten through the lumbar spine, we're lengthening through the back of the neck and sliding the chin to the chest. We don't lift the head up off the floor. The head stays on the floor. In breath, we're rolling those hips forward, roll the marble to the toes, arching through the lumbar spine, chin to the ceiling. On the out breath, we're flattening and chin towards the chest. One more time, in breath, roll the pelvis forward, chin up to the ceiling. On the out breath, we're flattening through the lumbar spine and chin sliding towards the chest. So keeping the length through the back of the neck, we're going to find the halfway point between the two, nice neutral spine, and we're going to float the right and left arm up towards the ceiling. Good. Palms facing each other. So we're reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, feeling that right shoulder lifting up away from the floor. As we lower the arm back down, we're going to slide the shoulder blade down your back. Good. Reaching that left arm up to the ceiling, lifting that shoulder away from the mat. And as you breathe out, we're going to lower that left shoulder to the floor and slide the shoulder blade down the back. Reaching up with the right arm to the ceiling, and now we're going to cross the right arm to the left, follow the hand with the head. The aim is to try and touch the floor, but obviously don't force it. Breathing through that lovely stretch behind your shoulder blade. Take the arm back up to the ceiling again, and as you lower it, slide the shoulder blade down your back. Good. reaching up with that left arm to touch the ceiling. Bring the left arm over to the right, follow the hand with the head. Feel that stretch behind that left shoulder blade. Good, take the arm back up to the ceiling again, and as you lower the arm, we're sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Good. So we're going to lower both arms back down to the floor again, thinking of any tension, relaxing any tension in the neck and shoulders. We're going to come up into our shoulder bridge position, so really taking your time. On the out breath, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat and we're peeling the vertebra. Squeeze through the glutes, pushing forward through the fronts of the thigh as we come up into that shoulder bridge position. Hips are lifted, keeping the rib cage down. Check the tension. There's no tension in the neck and shoulders. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to come back down, one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up until the end. Good. Can float both arms up towards the ceiling now, shoulders down the back, and we're coming again up into that shoulder bridge. So deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time. As we come up into the shoulder bridge position, keep the shoulders down the back. We're working with our glute squeezers, so we're going to drop the hips 2 centimeters and squeezing them back up. For 9, and lift. 8, and lift. Good. 7, 6. Make sure the rib cage doesn't move. 5, 4, 3, squeezing those glutes. 2, and last one. And we're coming back down, one vertebra at a time, keeping that pelvis curled up until the end. Good. We're going to do that one more time. So deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, squeezing those glutes. Keep the shoulders relaxed and down your back, coming up into the shoulder bridge position. And we're dropping and lifting. Good. For 9, and lift. 8, lift. 7, 6, 5, and lift. 4, squeezing those glutes. 2, last one, and we're coming back down one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up to the end. We're going to hug those knees into your chest now. Just rock side to side and loosening off your back. Brilliant. Nice deep breath in and out as you loosen that off. Brilliant. So taking the feet back down to the floor, keeping that hip width apart between the knees and feet, arms out to the side and palms to the ceiling. So we're going to start with a ringing of the washing. So we're going to start to roll the right hand back and the left hand is going to start to come forward. Good. And changing fluid movements, just rolling the arms forward and back. So imagine a rolling pin, but the arms are going in the opposite direction to each other. Start to notice that one shoulder lifts off the floor and the other shoulder stays flat into the floor. And now we're going to start to turn the head towards the shoulder, that's staying flat into the floor. Good, and again, just fluid movements, working with the breath. Once you start to get the rhythm of that, we're then going to start to drop the knees the opposite direction to the head. The feet are staying hip width apart. We're not stacking the feet. They're just dropping down from side to side, using the out breath to drop, in breath to center, and out breath to drop again. Good. We're going to do 2 more to each side. Or sorry, 1 more to each side. And center. And dropping the knees and turning the head, brilliant, and coming back up to the center again, relaxing that lumbar spine into the mat. We're placing the hands onto the hips, and we're going to work with the pelvic stability here. So we're not going to do the basics as we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. So we're just going to move straight on into the sequence. But obviously remember, we don't want any change in that pelvis, so no dropping. If you feel the hip dropping down, then you need to squeeze that glute to lift it back up. So we're going to start dropping that right knee out to the side. Don't let that hip drop. If you feel it dropping, squeeze that right glute. Slide the outside of that right foot along the floor as you lengthen that leg straight away from you. Center the foot back up and then floating that right leg up to tabletop position. Keep those abdominals locked down. So from tabletop position, we're going to drop the knee out to the right. If that feels too strong for you, take your foot to the floor again and do it with the foot to the floor. Don't let that hip drop. Lengthen the leg straight out away from you. Center the foot and we're floating that leg back to tabletop position. Good. One more time. Drop that right knee out to the side. Lengthen the leg away. Center that foot back up and we're floating that back up to tabletop position. Take that right foot to the floor. We're working on the left leg. Start with the left foot on the floor though, so we're dropping that left hip open. Don't drop that left side. Slide the outside of the foot away from you. Centering back up, keeping the hips level, and float that right leg back to tabletop position. Good. So on the out breath, we're dropping the left knee open. Don't let that left hip drop. Lengthen the leg straight out. So the leg is going down towards the wall at the bottom of you. Straightening, centering that toe up and floating that leg back up to tabletop position. Good. One more time. Drop that knee open. Lengthen the leg away. Centering that toe back up. And you're floating that left leg up to tabletop position. Brilliant. So taking that left foot to the floor, we're going to close the knees and feet together, take the arms out to the side. We're going into the hip rolls. So on the out breath, we're going to drop both knees, control the movement, both knees to the right, head goes to the left. Keep the knees and feet stacked. Just breathe through that stretch for a minute. And then on the out breath, take the lumbar spine to the mat as we send the knees back up. On the out breath, we're taking both knees to the left, head goes to the right. Feeling that stretch through the back. Good. On the out breath, we're floating both knees or bringing both knees back to the center again. We're going to float the left leg up into tabletop. We're going to do the same thing with the hip rolls, but make sure the legs don't touch. So we're keeping about a hand's width apart from each other. On the out breath, we're taking both legs over to the right. Of course, if it feels too strong for you, just bring the knees back together again. Head goes to the left. Use your core muscles to take that lumbar spine to the mat as you center back up again. Brilliant. So changing legs, right leg floating to tabletop. On the out breath, control the movement. Don't let the legs just flop down. We're taking both legs to the left. Head goes to the right. And then take the lumbar spine to the mat. So you're using that core to center you back up again. So if you want to progress it now, you can take both legs up. If it feels too strong for you, go back to one leg. We're taking both legs over to the right. Again, keeping that slight hip hand width distance between the knees. Head goes to the left. Take the lumbar spine to the mat as we send those knees back up. Good. On the out breath, taking both legs to the left, head goes to the right, controlling the movement. And take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up again. Good. Keeping the legs up in tabletop position, we're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling. We're starting with toe tap, so pointing through the toe. We're lowering the left leg and left arm comes down, right arm comes up above the head. Keep that lumbar spine imprinted. In breath to center and change. Out to lower, in breath to come up. Good. So for 2 and 2, the focus is on keeping that belly button pulled to the spine. Don't let that lumbar spine pop up. For 3 and 3. For 4 and 4. One more with a pointed toe. Keep that back locked down. 5 and 5, and now we're going to flex through the foot, so heel tapping for 1 and 1, lock the back down. If you want to make it a bit harder, take that leg a little bit longer. 2 and 2, good. For 3 and 3, good. 2 more to each side. For 4, if it's getting too much for you, take one leg back to the floor. And last ones for 5 and 5. Brilliant. Hug those knees into your chest, rock from side to side, and just loosening off your back. Excellent. Okay, so grabbing your bands now when you've had a nice loosen off through that back. Place it around your right foot. Good, holding the band in the right hand. Take that leg straight up to the ceiling. So you want to have good tension on the band so that you're feeling the stretch up the hamstring, but you also want to have that right elbow relaxed on the floor so there's no tension through the shoulder and neck. And we're just taking a good pull on that band. Good, feeling the stretch up that hamstring. Then we're going to open that right leg out to the side. Don't let that left side lift up. So make sure your back, both sides, the even weight into the mat. So you're just feeling that pull down the inner thigh. Back up to the ceiling again. Take the band in the left hand and you're bringing the right leg over to the left. Again, don't let that right side lift up. Keep it down into the mat. Good, and you're centering the leg back up again. We're going to lengthen the left leg away from you. Now, just before we start this, I'm just going to show you one, and then I want to also show you the regression. So we're going to do a full leg circle. So we're taking the right leg over to the left, lengthening it away from you, taking the leg out to the side and back up to the ceiling. Now, if that feels too strong or you've got discomfort in your hip, bend your knee and do it with a bent knee. Okay, so at all times the knee bent and you're just taking that hip joint for its full range of movement. Okay, we're going to do 2 in this direction. So we're taking the right leg over to the left, lengthening the leg away from you, take it out to the side and back up to the ceiling again. Good. One more time, crossing it over to the left, lengthen away. Again, if there's any discomfort in that hip, bend the knee out to the side and back up to the ceiling. Good, we're going to change direction, so we're opening it out first. We might be slightly lifting up from one side to the other, but we shouldn't be rolling around on the floor. So we don't want to be coming up onto our sides. Opening the right leg out, lengthening it away from you, crossing over the left and back up to the ceiling. Again, we're just going to hold it there for a second. Feel that stretch up through the hamstring again. Good. Bend the knee. We're going to change the band. So we're going to place the left foot into the band. The right knee stays bent on the floor for the minute, holding the band in that left hand and the hamstring stretching. So taking a nice pull on that band, feeling the stretch up that hamstring. If there's any discomfort in the knee, just bend the knee slightly. And then we're opening the knee out to the side. Feeling that nice stretch through that inner thigh. Try not to lift up through that right side. Then bringing the leg over to the right, take the band in your right hand. Again, don't let that left side lift up. Good. Take the leg back up to the ceiling. We're going to lengthen that right leg away now, and we're coming into the circles. Remember, bend the knee if there's any discomfort. So we're bringing the left leg over to the right, lengthen it away from you, take it out to the side, and then back up to the ceiling again. Good. On the out breath, lower the leg to the right, lengthen the leg away, out to the side, and back up to the ceiling. Good, changing direction, take it out to the side first, lengthening it away from you, crossing over the right leg, and back up to the ceiling. So trying to think of keeping your back, the sacrum, evenly distributed weight on the mat, crossing back over and back up to the ceiling, and we're just going to hold it here again, see if we can get a bit more of a stretch on that hamstring. Brilliant. And then we're going to bend the knee, take the band off, keep the left knee bent, hug that knee into your chest, flexion through the foot, and lengthen that right heel away from you. Good, so we're just trying to get a nice stretch all up through this right side, through the psoas muscle. And then we're going to take the right hand onto the left knee and draw that left knee up and over towards your right shoulder. Again, try not to come up too much through that left side. Good, breathing through that stretch. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to take that left foot back to the floor. Draw that right knee up towards your chest. Hug that knee into your chest. Lengthen the left leg away from you. So think of pushing the heel away, hugging that knee in. That lovely stretch and opening through the left side. And then take the left hand onto the knee, draw that knee up and over towards the left shoulder. Good, breathing through that stretch. 3, 2, 1, and then we're centering the legs back up again. Brilliant. So we're coming onto our right side. We're going to come onto our elbow. So elbow underneath the shoulder, hips are stacked, shoulders stacked. Remember that little candle burning underneath your waist. So we don't want the waist collapse. We're lifting that waist up away from the mat. Top arm up towards the ceiling. Brilliant. So on the in breath, we're pushing that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. On the out breath, we're bringing that arm round, palm down, feeding through the gap and creeping those fingers away. Good. In breath, up to the ceiling. Good. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. Feel that nice opening through the chest. On the out breath, bring that arm round, palm down, feeding through the gap and creeping those fingers away. Good. In breath, arm to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. Feel that opening through the chest. On the out breath, bring that arm round, palm down, feeding through the gap, creeping those fingers away. We're going to hold this stretch, breathing through it. Good, take that arm back up to the ceiling and drop it down. We're going to come up to sitting, grab your bands. Now, the choice is yours. If we're going to do the climb and the outer thigh raise, so if you feel that it's enough for you to do without the band, or if you've got hip issues, then definitely do it without the band. But if you want to work a bit harder, then we're going to use the band. So you want to make sure it's fairly tight, just one wrap from underneath and then tying on top. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to lying on our right side, but we're going to lie on our arm. Make sure the hip and the shoulder are in line with each other. The knees and feet are stacked, and you want your hips stacked and the shoulders stacked. Very good. Placing that hand on top of the hip, and we're squeezing through the left glute, keeping the feet together. On the out breath, we're taking that knee up towards the ceiling. So keep the feet together for the first couple, good, and just opening the knee up and squeezing back together again. On the out breath, think of squeezing that left glute as you take the knee up. Don't drop back on that hip, stay stacked, and we're pulsing it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down again, good. On the out breath, squeezing through the glute, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling, good. Holding for a breath and closing it back up again, good. On the out breath, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, keep squeezing that glute. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down again, good. On the out breath, squeezing through the glute, take the knee and ankle up towards the ceiling. We're going to open the knee to the ceiling, don't drop back on that hip. Level it back out again. Now we're going to take the foot to the ceiling, good. Level back out and lower that knee back in again. Brilliant. Give those glutes a bit of a tapple. We're lengthening both legs away from you now. Keep that hand on top of the hip. Bring the legs just slightly in front of the midline, pointing through the toe, and we're taking that leg up as high as we can. Flex. Push that hip away from you so you feel your waist lifting up off the floor to lower. Point to come up. Flex and lengthen the top line and lower. Good. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen and lower. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen and lower back down. Brilliant. Toe pointing to the floor. Now if this feels too much with the toe to the floor, toe to the ceiling, just keep going with that outer thigh raise. So toe to the floor to come up, toe to the ceiling to lower back down. Toe to the floor to come up, toe to the ceiling to lower, toe to the floor to come up, toe to the ceiling to lower. Last one, toe to the floor to come up, toe to the ceiling to lower. Excellent. Just give it a bit of a breather. I'm going to do one more now with pulsing. So just give the thigh a bit of a pat, get the blood flowing. And then when you're ready, and again, if it feels too much, just come down out of it. We're going to take that leg back up to hip height, foot in flexion, and we're pulsing it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Excellent. Catch on that left ankle, heel to the glute. Slide the knee back a bit so you're feeling that nice stretch through the front of the quad. Keep the stretch, so if it starts to ease, just increase it a little bit. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're relaxing that leg off. Excellent. Okay, so we're coming on to our left side now. We're going to start on our elbow. Knees are bent, the elbow underneath the shoulder, lifting up through the waist. Take that top arm up towards the ceiling. Good. On the in-breath, we're pushing that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. On the out-breath, we're bringing that arm round, palm down, feeding through the gap and creeping those fingers away. Good. In-breath, arm to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Try not to drop back on that hip. If it's too much through the arm, if it feels uncomfortable, place the hand onto the shoulder and just drop the elbow. On the out-breath, bring the arm round, palm down, feeding through the gap and creeping those fingers away from you. Good. In-breath, arm to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. On the out-breath, bring the arm round, over, palm down, feed through the gap. We're going to hold this stretch. Keep creeping those fingers away from you. Good. Arm back up to the ceiling and relaxing it down. Brilliant. So coming to lie on your left arm now. Again, keeping the hips and shoulders stacked, hand on top of that top hip. Keeping the feet together, squeezing through the glute. We're going to take the knee up towards the ceiling. Try not to drop back on that hip. And lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeezing through the glute, knee to the ceiling, and we're pulsing it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeezing through the glute, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling, and squeezing it back down. On the out breath, squeezing the glute to come up, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down again. Good. On the out breath, squeezing through the right glute, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling. We're going to open the knee to the ceiling, keep the pressure on the band, level and out again, keeping the pressure on the band. We're going to take the foot to the ceiling. Good. Level it out and closing it back together again. Brilliant. So lengthening both legs away from you now. Thinking about trying to lift that waist up away from the mat, pointing through the toe. We're taking the leg as high as we can. Flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen through the top line to lower. Good. 2 more. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower. Last one. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. So toe pointing to the floor. Up as high as you can. Toe to the ceiling to lower. Toe to the floor. Up. Toe to the ceiling to lower. 2 more. Toe to the floor. Up. Toe to the ceiling to lower. Last one. Toe to the floor. Up. Toe to the ceiling to lower. Good. Just give that thigh a pat off, get the blood going, and then we're going to pulse it again. And as I said before, if it gets too much, just come out of it. So flexion through the foot, take it as high as you can, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Brilliant. Catch hold of that right ankle, heel to the glute, Slide the knee back till you start to feel a nice pull through the front of that thigh. Breathing through that stretch. Good. If it starts to ease, just increase that pressure a bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shake that leg off. Excellent. So we're going to undo your band. It's up to you whether you want to come up to sitting or you can roll onto your back. Just taking that band off. And just place it delicately to the side as I've just done. So coming back onto your backs, we're going to take the arms out to the side. We're going to cross the right leg over the left, so the knees are crossed, meeting in the middle. And we're going to drop both knees down to the right, head goes to the left. Good. So just gently feeling that stretch, don't force it through that lower back. Breathing through it. Good, and then we're going to take the lumbar spine back to the floor as we center the knee, slide the ankle back onto the knee, flexion through the foot. You can either push that knee away or you can draw that left knee up towards your chest. And then we're going to roll onto the left side to just increase that stretch a little bit through the right. Good. And if you're not feeling, if you can hold your left knee and push your right knee away from you at the same time, that also just helps to increase that stretch. Brilliant. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, center back up. So we'll take right foot to the floor, cross the left knee over the right, arms to the side, palms to the ceiling. Drop both knees down to the left, head goes to the right. Breathing through that stretch, just trying to breathe into any tight muscles in that lower back. Good. And then we're centering those knees back up again. Slide the ankle back onto the knee. Flexion through the foot. Either just push the left knee away, or if you can, hold the right leg and push the left knee away. And then we're going to roll to that right side just to increase that stretch a little bit. Breathing through that. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and center back up again, taking both feet back down to the floor. Very gently, and when I say gently, slowly, we're going to come back up to sitting. Both legs straight out in front of you, sitting up tall, crown of the head to the ceiling. Good. So on the out breath, we're going to hinge from the hips. We've got flexion through the toes. Drop the chest down over the knees, drawing the shoulders down the back. Lovely stretch for your lower back, hamstrings, calves. Just breathing through this. On each out breath, see if you can drop a little bit lower over your knees. One more time, deep breath in as you breathe out. See if you can drop a little bit further. Good. Rounding back up and stacking that spine. So we're turning onto all fours. Tuck your toes underneath you. Pushing up into down dog. So feet hip width apart. Take the heels to the floor and the head through to the knees. And then we're going to lift up onto the toes. And then take the heels back to the mat and reach the head through to the knees a little bit more. One more time. Up onto your toes. Heels to the floor. Reach the head to the knees. Soften through the knees now. Walk the hands back towards your feet. And on the out breath, we're rounding back up. stacking that spine, coming up to standing. Excellent.